Hi there, this is the Hormijos, and today we're going to learn another amazing topic. Let me share the screen in order to show you. So here we go. All right, so let me make it bigger for you to see it, okay? All right, so I'm going to go back. Yeah, okay. The topic for today's class is going to be about this. You sometimes may be wondering when to use do and when to use does, okay? When to use have to, when to use has to, when to use don't, or when to use doesn't, okay? Some of them are auxiliaries to make questions, some of them are auxiliaries to make a negative sentence, and some of them are for making affirmative sentence. They are verbs, okay? So let's go. I'm going to explain to you each one of them in a bit, okay? So here we go. First things first, here we have to, okay? Have to, we're gonna use with these pronouns. For example, I have to, you have to, we have to, they have to. And of course, the verb in the base form. On the other hand, we have has to, when to use. For example, he has to, she has to, it has to. So basically, this we're gonna use in order to use for singular nouns. Okay, be careful about it. Yeah, when you use has to, it's because they are singular nouns, or with the pronouns he, she, it, which represent he for man, she for woman, and it for things, objects, etc. Okay, very good. On the other hand, here we have another easy thing to remind them. It's like we're gonna use this with plural nouns, okay? Plural nouns and the pronoun I, okay? So keep that in mind, please. When you are gonna use these kind of things, don't forget. Have to with plural nouns and with the pronoun I, and has to with singular nouns and the pronouns he, she, it. For example, I have to do my homework. You have to study for the test. We have to speak English during the class, all right? Here we have examples with has to. He has to do his homework. She has to study for the test. And it has to run. Could be an animal. The elephant has to run. The dog has to run, whatever, okay? Very good. This is about have to and has to. Is that clear? So we're gonna practice. Here we go. We have a small quiz over here, yeah? Let me put it the annotation tool here. And what do you think about number one? They have to or has to? What do you think? You're gonna pause the video a little bit and tell me the answer. Absolutely, the answer is have to. They have to do an exam. What about Jenny? Jenny has to or have to? This is third singular person. It represents the pronoun she. We're gonna use has to, absolutely. What about Ken and Liz? Have to or has to? Huh? You tell me. All right, in this case, we're gonna use have to. Why? Because this is plural. We have two people. We have Ken and we have Liz. So we're talking about two people here, okay? It's plural. That is why we have to use have. What about Andy? Andy, it's only one person, okay? Only one person, so that is why we have to use has to. Andy has to help his mom, okay? My sister and I. How many people do we have here? Two people, my sister and I. So there are two people here. That's the reason why we have to use have to, because it's plural. And finally, children. What do you think about this? Children, is it singular or plural? Children, in this case, it's plural. It's mentioning to many kids, many girls, many boys, etc. Okay, that is why we're gonna use have to, because it's in plural. All right, we have finished about have to, has to. Now let's go into the how to make negative, okay? Pay attention, it's quite similar in this case. So we are gonna use, for example, I don't have to, You don't have to, we don't have to, they don't have to, okay? On the other hand, we have the singular thing. He doesn't have to, she doesn't have to, it doesn't have to, okay? In this case, as I said before, this is for plural nouns. I'm sorry, for plural nouns and also with the pronoun I. On the other hand, we have with singular nouns, and that's all. Okay, but pay attention here. In this case, I'm gonna show you the examples, okay? I don't have to do my homework. Let's suppose you don't have to do it. In this case, I don't have to do my homework. You don't have to study for the test because the test is not gonna be like tomorrow or next week. We don't have to speak English because you are in a Portuguese class maybe, okay? So on the other hand, we have he. He doesn't have to do his homework. She doesn't have to study for the test. He doesn't have to run. But notice something here, guys. I'm going to explain to you very, very clear. In this case, we have the pronoun he, okay? And the verb have to, but in affirmative sentence, we need to conjugate the verb. For example, he has to do his homework. But in this case, if you have the auxiliary, for example, the auxiliary doesn't, so it means that the verb is going to be in the base form. You don't need to conjugate because you have an auxiliary in this case. Doesn't have to. No, he doesn't has to. For example, some students, including myself, when I was a student, I used to do this kind of thing. Listen, pay attention, please. He doesn't has to do his homework. Let's put it in this way. All right, so he doesn't has to do the homework. What do you think, guys? Is that correct or no? He doesn't has to. No, this is totally incorrect, guys. This is not correct because you have the auxiliary. It means this verb has to be in the base form as have to, okay? This sentence is incorrect, okay? Very good, fantastic. Pay full attention to this. When you have an auxiliary doesn't, you have to keep the same base form. Doesn't have to, it doesn't have to, etc. Okay? Very good. I hope you got it, guys. And now we're gonna do a small quiz over here. It says complete the following sentences using don't have to or doesn't have to. Very simple, guys. Help me, please. What do you think? He he don't have to or he doesn't have to? Huh? What do you think? He doesn't have to. Absolutely. Let me make it smaller in order to fit within the boxes. All right, here we go. He doesn't have to. Very good. What about this? We don't have to go shopping or we doesn't have to go shopping? What you think, guys? Huh? In this case, we're going to use don't. Don't have to go shopping. Okay, as you can see here, guys, don't forget when you have the two, the next word is going to be in the base form. In this case, the verb. Okay, the verb is going to be in the base form. My friends, singular or plural? What you think? My friends, singular or plural? This is plural, and that is why we have to use don't have. I'm sorry, don't have to. Okay. Very good. Mandy, singular or plural? It's only one person. It's, of course, in singular. That is why we have to use doesn't. Doesn't have to, all right? I doesn't have or I don't have. Of course, el I works with don't have to, all right? And finally, we have Frank and Joe go to soccer practice every day. Frank and Joe, singular or plural? In this case, it's plural because we're talking about two people, Jack and Joe. There are two people here, so that is why we have to use don't have to go to practice every day, okay? In this case, my apologize, guys. This is number 7, okay? Because I got a mistake here. All right, pretty good. We have finished about negative, affirmative, negative. Now we're gonna jump into questions. How to make questions using, we have two auxiliaries in order to make questions. We have do and the auxiliary thus. That's saying, guys, el do it's for plural nouns plus the I pronoun, y el das is for the singular nouns. Okay, for example, do I, don't forget the intonation, do I have to do my homework? Do you have to do my homework? Do we have to do my, etc. Okay, so don't forget about this. Yeah, we're gonna use do at the beginning, at the very beginning, and then you're gonna use the personal pronoun and then the complement. Okay, the same happen for the singular. Does he, does she, or does it? Don't forget to put it these two auxiliaries for making question. Okay, let me go into the example. Do I have to do my homework? So as you can see here, we have do, which is the auxiliary, okay? This is the auxiliary. I, which is the subject. Have to, the verb in this case. To do, the main verb, etc. So you gotta continue this kind of thing. Okay, do I have to do my homework? Don't forget to make the intonation when making questions, okay? Another one, please. Let me put another. It says, do you have to study for the test? Do we have to speak English? All right. On the other hand, we have does. The same. We have to keep have to because we have the auxiliary does. So in this case, in negative and in questions, you don't need to conjugate the verb because you have auxiliaries. In negative, you have the auxiliaries doesn't. In question, you have the auxiliary does. For example, does he have to do his homework? Does she have to study for the test? Does it have to run? All right. So in order to answer these questions, you're going to say, for example, do you have to study for the test? Or do I have to do my homework? You're going to answer. Let me make it bigger, please, for you to see clearly. Okay, you're gonna say, let's suppose it's positive. You're gonna say, yes, I do. Or let's suppose you don't have to study, you don't have to do the homework because your teacher hasn't sent it to you anything. You're gonna say, no, I don't. As simple as that, okay? Yes, I do, or no, I don't, in order to answer. In this case, for example, does he have to do his homework? You're gonna say, yes. Give me a second, guys, yeah? Give me a second, please. Give me a second. Somebody's, okay, guys, I'm sorry, somebody was calling me. That is why. Okay, let's continue. In this case, does he have to do his homework? You're gonna say yes. We're gonna use the pronoun he, and the auxiliary does. Yes, he does. If it is negative, you're gonna say, I'm sorry, no, he doesn't. As simple as that, okay? Does he have to do his homework? Yes, he does. Or if it is negative, no, he doesn't. All right? Very good, fantastic. Okay, now we're gonna do a small quiz in order to have it clear. It says, um, in this case, John, at our presentation, okay, we're gonna use the auxiliary. What auxiliary should I use in order to make question in singular? Do or does? In this case, we're gonna use does. Does John and have to, we don't need to conjugate here. We need to keep the base form, okay? Does John have to be at our presentation? What about Lucy? Lucy is the same. What about number 3? Jack and Andrea. What do you think is the auxiliary? This here we have 2 people. What do you think the auxiliary is? In this case, do, because it's plural. Do, let me see what is the, I'm gonna make it simple here. Okay, do Jack and Andrea have to come with us? Do Jack and Andrea have to come with us? Very good. And what about number 5? What do you think? Do or does the children quiet? With the word the children, what do you think? In this case, do, because children, as I said before, it's mentioning to More than two girls, more than two boys, okay? Do the children have to be, I think, let me see. Yes. Do the children have to be quiet? And what about number six? It says the child. In this case, it's singular, okay? Thus, okay? In this case, it's thus. Give me a second, okay? Does the child have to, I'm sorry, have to practice, okay? Do the child have to practice playing the piano? You see, as you can see, guys, we need to be very careful. This word, it's plural, we need to use the auxiliary do. If this word is singular, we need to use the auxiliary thus. Don't forget the pronunciation. Children, child, children, child. Children is for plural and child is for singular. All right, guys, so we have done a lot of exercises here. I hope you get it. Now we're gonna continue. Oh, we finished. Thank you so much for watching this video and don't forget to complete the exercise, okay? I'll see you in the next class. Thank you so much for being here.